so that we can take that information and maybe adjust as we go into sort of the second half stretch of this this charge that you all have. So, are there any other particular maybe focus areas of the ones I mentioned? And again, I'm talking process, timing, group dynamics, issue discussion format. Anything else you guys feel like you want to weigh in on?
So who's doing the amount? I'm sorry.
The committee members.
The committee members.
Yeah, you guys will be responding to that anonymously, and we'll compile that feedback and use that to adjust the process if needed going forward, so.
Are you gonna have like a place for notes, like commentary?
Yeah, there will be open-ended questions as well, yeah, so.
What would you?
You know, on how the process is going, the timing and the pace, the group dynamics, you know, there are some members not feeling like they have a chance to voice their concerns or how that interaction is going, and the discussion format, which is similar. And then the other, so those are.
Community feedback.
Okay.
How would you survey
Feedback.
Would you do that?
What do you mean?
No, in terms of feedback that we're getting.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so they're talking, yeah.
Good, okay, yeah. And then the last question, actually, probably I want to ask this before the survey goes out, since that's going to be, we're talking about maybe holidays, Christmas holiday, about that time to send out the survey. But in terms of research needs, I think we talked a little bit about that at the beginning of this particular meeting tonight, in terms of maybe getting a speaker from the school system and potentially a speaker on the water study, the regional water study. Are there other speakers that you guys would like us to try to bring, so more sort of content experts as we get into some of the other issues?
So let's look at the other policy areas, because you just brought up water.
We talked about a bike ped.
DOT, roads.
DOT,
Yeah.
parks and recreation, community schools, roads.
And then these are like experts in a subject area to help them
Yeah,
with a
that'll
deeper
be
understanding of
particular
the.
to the content of the night, and you know, potentially, since you've got some issues under your belt, you know, if we need to revisit some things, I mean, I don't see why there isn't we couldn't bring in a speaker to look at some of the things that I've already discussed, because again, you're gonna have to look at this in March and sort of finalize it, so there's, you know, these issues will all sort of come to the fore at the end anyway, but ideally, we'd line that up with what the discussion is that night to relate to the discussion the second half of the meeting.
We had some themes early on, and water was obviously one of the highest.
Yeah,
We
so I had.
brought up schools a bunch, so how do they plan for, growth in the schools?
Yeah, so we talked about some, maybe a school board member. The other thought was like either a home builder or a real estate agent on just market trends and the triad.
Can we get a higher level review of that, not just an agent or like a,
Like an association leader,
Yeah.
for the association.
From the
of
Realtors
Realtors.
Association.
Yeah.
They have a research staff, should.
Okay.
Or even someone from a community that has, similar to ours, that's already kind of gone through this, like, growth that's trying to preserve a rural community.
Okay, so along the lines of a real estate agent working there, or an association member, or more someone from the staff of that?
Maybe someone from staff, or,
Okay.
Or even a possibility of a council person who's
Yeah.
involved intimately in another town of equal size or equal dynamics and
Okay.
preserving.
That's good feedback, yeah. Okay.
Can I go back to one thing what Gary said, just on citizen feedback? If we haven't had as much citizen feedback as we would like to have, are there tools that we can use for gaining additional citizen feedback or engaging more citizens? And I'm not sure if that's for us to answer, or maybe it's something for you all to recommend.
Okay.
But it just, I would like to know some other tools that we could get more feedback.
for that specific survey or just in
No,
general?
just going back to having citizen input,
Mhm.
if the answer comes back as we're not having a whole lot,
Mhm.
then
Yeah,
the
right.
recommendation is to, what can we do
Got
to
it.
get more citizen
Good.
feedback?
Yeah.
There was a suggestion in the beginning that an email address be set up that people could email the committee and, we could talk about the questions or whatever, but that, I don't think that got fixed up.
Okay.
Can somebody from
With them,
Guilford,
DTRC.
Guilford Health County Health Department about stuff that's centrally septic too?
Yeah, good idea.
Instead of having to email everybody, like a repository of
That'd be
comments.
like kind
email.
of newest septic
Yeah.
system, like
These-
state of the art
these-
stuff,
Mhm.
which would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if we talk about
Yeah, and I'll make sure that they're able to talk about maybe the technology too, and that if they can't cover that, maybe look at sort of the engineers that are designing those types of facilities. Okay.
And what do we talk about on the water side of it? You were gonna get somebody,
Well, the one thought was to bring in the consultant that's working on the regional water study, Dennis Group.
the consultant that's working on the current
Yeah.
study.
So with that situation, they're targeting probably February-ish to be done with that.
Right, and we're covering that in early December, so I don't know.
Yeah, I
Is
mean, so-
anything that
so
they
if
can
you're-
do in December or?
I mean, I'm thinking if you got that person to come in, well, they're still gathering information, and you may want somebody that can address a different side of water. I mean, these are the engineers looking specifically at the feasibility of sourcing water, and I don't know if that's exactly the right fit.
Right, yeah,
What about the one who did the 97 study?
the
That it
nineteen
had to do with
ninety-seven
well water,
study.
because, people wanted to stay on well water.
When plans start coming in, are they gonna go to the Guilford County TRC board to be reviewed? I know we're gonna do our landscaping and planning aspects, but are they gonna go through the Guilford County's board? 'Cause
That's what
it's-
we're trying to set, that's what we want to set up. yeah.
Okay, well, so, because if you got that, you could reach out to them and pull any one of those reviewers in to kind of talk about what they're gonna be looking at. And I know part of theirs is,
Consultant would be a good idea.
I don't
Get the guys
mind
to do the
asking.
study.
Do it, I'm just thinking about the
Well,
timing.
even if they haven't drawn conclusions, they certainly have the expertise, or they wouldn't have been brought.
Exactly.
Well, the other
I mean, they
option-
can at least give us an update of what's going on. I know their report may not be finalized, but it would be, I think they could still give us some really good data.
Another option would be we go through our water part, and then when the study is done, we get a briefing on the study.
Would it be helpful to have the information before we go through?
Yeah, or we
material, though?
move Area 5 to later in the process,
That's potential.
to where the water study
Yeah,
could be
probably
done.
do that.
I'm willing to ask for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that
They work
that
for
would
us.
probably help us go
Or
through it.
jurisdiction.
Yeah.
It really, it probably would, because Area 5 talks about the older study, and the action items recommend more studies. I mean, so I think everything could be all wrapped up together
I
if
think that's a good
we
idea.
fight off until later.
and I put this gentleman down here, David, on the spot, but he had mentioned some economic data he had last time, and I don't know if that includes residential trends, stuff like that. I'm not sure what's all in that, but if he'd be willing to be one of the,
We'll supply you with whatever you need, and it all comes out of MLS, it comes from direct closing.
So it's-
And it addresses what's actually available in Summerfield, on the market, available for purchase, not what's been built in the past, what's available, which is the most important part. What's available to be purchased, and what can be developed.
so explaining some of that to us and how to look at that and what numbers are out there could be useful for our.
Good, and I don't want to take away from y'all's committee's charge, but I think some, education obviously helps. So I think that's going to always be a balance of the timing in terms of staying on schedule with things, but also bringing in some content experts. So not making any promises, obviously we've got to see about the schedule and timing and how that works out, but I think these are great ideas, and I know we're over time, so I'll leave it at that, Andrew, unless there's any burning issue questions.
No, I think it'll give us more information on the survey coming up, but it will be completely anonymous.
Completely
Correct.
anonymous.
So
Yep.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, so now we will go to, well, so wrap up. We've moved the next meeting to the 15th at 6 here. So that's on a Wednesday versus a Thursday. So everyone, and then the emails will go out again.
Scott's giving us approval.
Oh,
Everybody consensus, and we'll advertise and notice appropriately.
Talk to Mary tomorrow, make sure we get it.
Yep.
I'll notice.
okay.
Yep.
And then we'll go into the public comments. Gail?
Well done, a lot to say here. I'd just like to comment that it was called to my attention that Wednesday is a big church night. A lot of community churches have different programs on Wednesday nights, but maybe we'll get back to your Thursday meeting. Concerned about the process. It's nice that you'll have your own survey. Maybe we should be surveying the public. Yeah, I've followed this for 13 months, and the public really hasn't been included. There have been meetings where the public wasn't able to really participate. The one photo of anywhere, that street with the subway, if you make a subway sign smaller, that doesn't necessarily mean it's better. Sometimes I think that you're looking at Summerfield as a blank slate. And we're all thinking about these beautiful things that we want to have and what we want to incorporate, but it's not a blank slate. There's communities that really aren't going to be able to easily connect with each other, so recognize that. My biggest concern is government can approve feel-good resolutions, and you can approve an ordinance. And you're talking, you don't want specificity, you're kind of dealing, you don't want to have specific language, don't do wordsmithing. However, it's very important for the public to know that you have incorporated the PD into this UDO, and this goes back to 2012. But you're saying, well, the PD will meet these requirements, meet those requirements. But if those requirements are if those requirements are vague, then you end up with a feel-good resolution. It has to have specificity for it to be a true ordinance. And I hope you'll get back into that rather than, the other thing is whether something is appropriate. It doesn't matter if it's appropriate. If the developers, it doesn't matter what you think is appropriate. If you don't have specificity, the developers will do what they want to do. So, less of a feel-good resolution with objectives. We're talking about photos, should, examples, diagrams. No, you need specificity. And the people of this town want to keep the current low overall density. I can't emphasize that enough. That's what they're concerned about, their water in the future. It's the low overall density. And unfortunately, for over a year, the town hasn't approved that. Could have voted to put it into the comp plan, which is an advisory document. I'm really sorry that they didn't do that, but I hope that we're going to do that in the future. But if you have any doubts about how people feel, maybe have a public questionnaire. Thank you, and thank you all. It's a tremendous commitment to come here every 2 weeks. I know in the beginning, Carrie said she really wanted people to make the commitment, and it is important.
I want to address just the one thing about the specificity, because I think that's exactly what we've said in the zoning districts. We need to have more specificity. So we're actually, I think this committee is on the exact same page, that there needs to be more specificity. But you had said we said we don't want specificity, and we incorporated a PD. We are reviewing the UDO that has 7 zoning districts in it. There is a planned area development as one of those that we have said in our comments needs to have more specificity. So I think we as a committee agree to that. Density, all the requirements that we think it needs to have, so. Shall, not should. Okay, and then Tim.
Thank you. Tim Sessom, 6507 Horseman Trail here in Summerfield. As former mayor of Summerfield, I've always been impressed and even amazed at the volunteer committees of Summerfield, all the other committees outside of this one, and the way that people come and give their time, their talents, and their efforts on behalf of our town. None more than what I've seen in this committee here, to be coming every other week and to be able to sit down at your level of expertise and your backgrounds, and bring all that together and bring that effort to bear on what you're doing here is absolutely amazing. And so I want to say thank you. Thank you on behalf of me and my family. We appreciate all that you're doing. I look forward to hopefully having the opportunity to work with you and trying to work through this process and figure out what is best for our town and where we need to go and what we need to do. So I just want to say thank you, how much we appreciate all your efforts and all your hard work and time put forward on the effort. So thank you.
Okay, everyone, we will see you on the 15th, Wednesday the 15th.